There is a quiet truth most people ignore, a truth that decides the quality of your entire life. It is not your talent, it is not your luck. It is not your luck, it is not even your circumstances. It is what you can control and what you fail to control. A single word can destroy a relationship. A single thought can ruin your peace. A single thought can ruin your peace. A single mood can change your entire day. A single decision with money can shape your future. Yet most people live carelessly, speaking without thinking without awareness, reacting without control, spending without discipline. And then they wonder why life feels chaotic, why nothing stays stable, why peace never lasts. The truth is simple. If you cannot control these four things, your mouth, your mind, your mood, your money, then life will control you. But the moment you master them, everything changes. Control your mouth is small, but its impact is enormous. Most damage in life does not come from actions, it comes from words. Words spoken in anger. Words spoken without thought. Words spoken just to prove a point. And once they leave your mouth, they never return. You cannot take them back. You cannot erase their effect. You cannot undo the feeling they created in someone else. This is why control begins here, because discipline of speech is the foundation of wisdom. Most people speak to react. Few people speak with intention. They interrupt. They argue. They defend. They explain too much, not realizing silence is often more powerful than words. When you control your mouth, you choose your responses instead of reacting emotionally. You stop saying things you regret. You stop creating unnecessary conflict. You stop wasting energy on meaningless conversations. You begin to understand not everything deserves a response. Sometimes silence is strength. Sometimes restraint is power. Sometimes walking away is wisdom. And when you do speak, your words carry weight. They become calm, clear, intentional. People start listening, not because you speak more, but because you speak less, and with purpose. Control of the mouth is not about suppression. It is about awareness. Before you speak, ask yourself, is it necessary? Is it true? Is it kind? If not, let it remain unspoken. Because in the end, it is not the words you say that define you. It is the words you choose not to say. Control your mind and mood. Your mind is your greatest tool, but also your greatest enemy if left uncontrolled. Most people do not control their thoughts. Their thoughts control them. A single negative idea turns into a chain of overthinking. A small problem becomes a mountain inside the mind. This is how suffering begins, not in reality, but in imagination. Your mood follows your mind. If your thoughts are chaotic, your emotions become unstable. You feel anxious without reason, irritated without cause, tired without doing anything, because your mind never rests. It jumps from past regrets to future fears without ever staying in the present. And this creates emotional instability. One moment you feel motivated, next moment you feel lost, not because life changed, but because your thoughts changed. This is why control of the mind is essential. You must learn to observe your thoughts without becoming them. Just because you think something does not make it true. Just because you feel something does not mean you must act on it. When you create this distance, you gain control. Your mind becomes quieter. Your mood becomes stable. Your reactions become slower and wiser. You stop reacting instantly. You start responding consciously. Instead of anger, you choose patience. Instead of anger, you choose patience. Instead of fear, you choose action. Instead of stress, you choose clarity. And slowly, your inner world becomes peaceful. Because control is not about eliminating thoughts. It is about not being controlled by them. A strong mind creates a stable mood. A stable mood creates a peaceful life. Control your money. Money is not just currency. It is discipline in physical form. How you handle money reflects how you handle life. Most people do not have a money problem. They have a control problem. They spend without thinking. They chase instant pleasure. They ignore long-term consequences. And then they wonder why they always feel financially stuck. Because money flows where discipline exists. If you cannot control your spending, you cannot build stability. If you cannot delay gratification, you cannot create growth. Every small financial decision matters. The unnecessary purchase, the impulsive expense, the lack of planning. These small actions create long-term consequences. Controlling money does not mean being cheap. It means being intentional. You understand the difference between needs and wants. You prioritize value over temporary satisfaction. You think before you spend. You begin to save, to invest, to plan, and slowly you build security. Because true wealth is not about how much you earn. It is about how well you manage what you have. When you control your money, you reduce stress, you gain freedom, you create options. And most importantly, you stop being controlled by financial pressure. Money becomes a tool, not a burden. And with discipline, that tool can build the life you truly want. In the end, life is not controlled by big moments. In the end, life is not controlled by big moments. It is shaped by small disciplines practiced daily. A word you choose not to say. A thought you choose not to follow. A reaction you choose to control. A purchase you choose to avoid. These small choices create a powerful life. Control your mouth and you will avoid regret. Control your mind and you will find peace. Control your mood and you will gain stability. Control your money and you will gain stability. Control your money and you will create freedom. Master these four and you master your life. Because the real power was never outside. It was always within you waiting to be controlled.